Welcome to this week's session with the Putnam County District Library, the Guiding Ohio Online Grant. Last week we had looked at a few Google Doc tips. This week we're going to look at 5 additional Google Doc tips that you might find helpful. So I'm going to take this over to the next screen. We're going to look at how you can open a new Google Doc in just one step, how you can include a handwritten signature, how you can display word count as you work, how you can revert to an earlier version of your document, and lastly, how you can convert to a different type of file format. So in other words, instead of having it as a Google Doc, you could change it to a PDF or a Word or other types of formats. So the first thing is I'm going to open up a new tab. And when I open up this new tab, I want you to notice I do have my Google account running. So I would have to have that Google account on and logged in. But a quick, simple, easy way that you can actually start a new document without having to go through the steps of going over to your hamburger button, as we refer to it, these 9 dots, is it say I'm on a new tab, and I am going to simply, up at the top here, I'm going to type in docs.new, and it is going to automatically jump and create a brand new document. If I do that again, go to a new tab, just one more time for example, docs.new, and it jumps to a new tab. Actually, just kind of as a side note, you can actually do the same thing with sheets.new, and you can do the same thing with slides. So that's tip number 1. The second one is how you can include a handwritten signature. So I'm going to go back here to my Google Doc that I have open, my new one. And to insert a signature, say for example you're typing something up and you need your signature at the bottom, you would go to Insert, Draw, and I'm going to go to New. And when I go to New, I'm going to go here where my line is located. And when I go to Line, the last one is Scribble. So if I go to Scribble, I can simply draw in and write here at this location. So I could, now obviously this would be something that might be a little bit easier to do if you have a trackpad or something, but so I'm just going to go to Save and Close, and now I have my signature that I would have located within my document. The third option is I'm going to type here just a couple, just so that I have something showing on my screen, because I'm going to show the third thing is tools that you can use to actually have a word count going. So if you're typing a document, you need to know how many words are always there. If I go to Tools, I go to Word Count. Word Count tells me the amount of words, the characters, and so forth, but I can have this as a running tally so that it's always showing. I click the check mark and I say OK. Now what's going to happen is every time I type, notice I get a word that count that shows down here in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen. The second option is, I should say the fourth option of the shortcut today that we were showing was how you can check your version history. So in other words, say I'm typing, I'm working, and all of a sudden I'm like, no, I don't like the fact of what I have done today. I want to change it back to what I had done the day before, or even 5 minutes ago. If I go to File and I go down to what is called Version History, I can see my version history. So in other words, every time I have worked, I see this over here on the side. So I can change and I can go here obviously it's taking me back to the blank page because that's when I started, and I've only been working for a couple minutes, so this is taking me back to at 8:54 what I was doing. If I had done this previous days, I would have a long list appearing here. This can become very helpful if you are working with other individuals with a shared document, and say someone goes in and makes a change that is not what should have been done. You can quickly jump back. And then the last thing we're going to look at is I'm going to have you see how you can actually change. Let's say, for example, I'm doing this document and I want it do not want it saved as a Google Doc, but I want it saved in a different format. So if I go to File and I go to Download, here are all the different options that I may use. The one option, obviously, Microsoft Word is probably, other than Google Docs, the most common, but the other format that you will see that is very helpful and useful is the PDF document. If you remember in the past, I've talked about a PDF document. When that is being used, it's basically like taking a picture. So nothing will ever be changed in terms of your formatting. So those are our 5 additional tips for Google Docs. I hope everyone has a safe and nice week.